Peace Reflections. Before we start, if you've been feeling called to go deeper, I'm now offering one-on-one spiritual alignment calls, 60-minute sessions, to help you realign and find clarity. Message me on my Instagram at HumbleAli2times to book your spot. Alright, man, it's your boy HumbleAli2times, you feel me? Back in that video, man, feel me? Follow the Instagram at HumbleAli2times. Now look, it's that space I'm talking about. Some people aren't who you think. Some people's vessels are being used. Now look, for today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to the Most High in general for everything. I'm also giving a huge shout out to the Most High for giving me these amazing downloads, dropping this amazing good information on me, feel me, no cap, etc. I'm also giving a huge shout out to myself as well for wanting to receive this good information and give out this good information as well. I'm also giving a huge shout out to everyone and to y'all. I literally take energy out of y'all's day to come rock me, show me love and support, you feel me? I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much more. I love always deeply. I'm also sending good positive energy, good positive protection, good positive feeling, and good positive energy towards everyone always deeply. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So look, right, some people aren't what you think. Some people's vessels are being used. What does this mean? This is a very deep video. We're gonna be talking about a lot of different stuff in this video. So let's buckle on up, shall we? Now look, right, so some people aren't who you think they are. Some people, let's talk about vessels. Let's start there. What is a vessel? A vessel can be kind of like a shell in a way. Like for an example, right? A turtle uses the shell as kind of like a vessel in a way, right? You see what I'm saying? Now, with a vessel, it can be considered as the body, the avatar, right? So if you look, for an example, right? If you look at JJK, right? Spoilers, by the way. If you look at Jujutsu Kaisen, right? What happened to Toji, right? This elder woman, she had used some type of like magic or whatever on her grandson, and her grandson was portraying to be his grandson had took over the body of Toji, but because Toji's body was way stronger than the soul of her grandson, he lost that battle to the body of Toji. So then Toji got reincarnated and took back over his body. You see what I'm saying? Now, his vessel was stronger than the soul that he was fighting against, right? This is a real thing because this is a vessel, right? See, they don't want you to know the real names of what things are, because when you know the real names of what things are, you can have a better understanding and a better understanding of what this topic is, what this theme is, what it represents, where it came from, and you get to understand more of how it properly works, and you know, and then it can lead to more information. Why do you think they want us to call it the body? This is not the body. This is an avatar. This can also be used as a vessel. You see what I'm saying? But they don't want you to know this is the avatar. They don't want you to know this is a vessel, because now this can lead to more information, right? They don't want you to know that black people are giants as well, etc., because this leads to a lot more information. They don't want you to know that there's no such thing as a mountain. Those are actually tree stumps. They don't want you to know that because this leads to more information. This leads to you awakening more. This leads to you remembering of who you are more. So a lot of spiritual people, including myself, I am a vessel. I am a vessel for my ancestors, right? My ancestors speak through myself, speak through this avatar, and speak through my soul as well. So that's why when I'm on here, a lot of times when I'm speaking real information, or y'all will see me like raise my voice because I'm getting passionate about it, that's not just me, that's also the ancestors as well. That's another reason why I'm able to tap into a lot of information, is because, for one, I am a reincarnation. So I made a video before talking about reincarnation. Reincarnation is basically where your soul is revisiting a place it's already been in, but it's in a different vessel. In other words, your soul is coming back down to a planet it has already experienced, but it's coming back down here in a different body, in a different vessel, in a different avatar, right? So I am a reincarnation. I've already been down here before. So a lot of this information that I'm speaking, I already know about. And then two, I have the ancestors. I let them use my vessel, right? They use my vessel. So they help spread and help me channel, and they help give myself information as well, and help myself remember certain information as well, etc. You see what I'm saying? A lot of spiritual people, they let their ancestors use them as a vessel. And basically what using them as a vessel is right, they'll let them come speak to the people. They'll let them do certain things, etc. And there's multiple different types of vessels, right? For an example, right? if you're a person who taps in with the orishas, right, you may let them use your body and your avatar as a vessel to speak, or to, to do certain things that you may not be that really good at the moment. You see what I'm saying? So yes, vessels are real, right? You see what I'm saying? Vessels are definitely real, right? Tapping in with entities, tapping in with certain sorcerers, tapping in with genies, and that stuff is real. You can tap in with genies, you can tap in with fairies. The ancestors have to agree upon this as well. But with certain people, they can tap into their ancestors, and their ancestors can use them, can be a vessel for them. Certain deities can be you can be a vessel for them. It just depends on the vibration, etc. Right? But I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel for my ancestors. You see what I'm saying? Right? For certain ancestors, not all of my ancestors, but for certain ancestors, for certain of my ancestors. You see what I'm saying? Right? Like you see me? So, with a vessel, vessels are real. So this is why you may tend to notice, like, dang, why this person kind of act like strange, or like why I feel like such a strange, weird energy. Right? Because this person has a lot of it's a vessel. It got a lot of entities and a lot of beings around it. For an example, like Light Yagami, right? When he touched that book, it was more than just him touching that death note. When he touched the death note, he tapped into a whole different new frequency. So because of that, he was able to see Ryuk, which is the what? Ryuk is the Ryuk is a Shimigami. And I've already made a video spiritually decoding Death Note. Shimigamis are a real actual thing, right? Reapers are a real thing. Shimigamis and Reapers are kind of like, maybe like cousins in a way, right? Shimigamis and Reapers are actually related, right? Now, and there's good Reapers as well. There's not just only bad Reapers. Remember, y'all, there's duality in everything. You see what I'm saying? It's never going to be just something where everybody's, it may be in some cases, but like for an example, right? Like that's like saying like all white people are racist. Are most of them racist? Yes. Are all of them racist? No. Why? Because there's duality in everything. Not every single white person is racist. It's a lot of white people that have stuck up for black people and, etc. You know what I'm saying? It's just the honest truth, bro. I'm just being honest with you. I'm giving some examples, right? So, yes, vessels are real. Like I said, I am a vessel for my ancestors, etc. I'm not even going to get too deep into that. Some of that is personal. But what I will say is that, yes, I am a vessel for certain of my ancestors. You see what I'm saying? And you can be vessels for certain individuals, but it depends on the vibration. It depends on the connection, right? You could want to be a vessel for a certain deity. Let's say you want to be a vessel for, like for an example, right? I had decoded the show Moonlight, right? A few months ago, I had decoded Moon Knight, right? Y'all can go check that out if you would like. I decoded Moon Knight, right? And in Moon Knight, what happened? Mark, right? Mark, Steve, and Jack. I think that's the other guy's name, Jack, right? What happened? They were a vessel for that ancient Kemet deity. In other words, the Egyptian deity, even though it's ancient Kemet, etc., right? So they was a vessel for that ancient Kemet deity, for that deity. But notice how in the show the deity picked Mark, Steve, and Jack for a reason, right? Why didn't he pick somebody else, right? Because it's the energy, it's the vibration, right? A deity isn't just going to pick anybody to be a vessel for it. Y'all have to be on a certain vibration. Y'all have to have a certain type of connection for a deity to even, for most deities, if not all deities, and I say that with respect, shout out to deities, for a deity to even think about picking you or wanting you to be its vessel. You see what I'm saying? So you could want to be a vessel for, an Orisha, right? But if that Orisha doesn't feel like you're not worthy enough, or if that Orisha just genuinely doesn't want to do it, then it won't do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't force a deity to be to be a vessel for it, right? You can't force to be a vessel for something. Maybe in some cases you can, but in a lot of cases, if not all cases, you can't. You see what I'm saying? So, vessels are real, right? Vessels are definitely real. You see what I'm saying? Because going back to the Jujutsu Kaisen example, when her grandson was doing what? Her grandson was using Toji's body as a vessel. In other words, his grandson was using that body to help himself beat one of the people that he was going against or whatever, right? But Like we was talking about earlier, what happened? Toji's body was way stronger than the soul, and that's very, very rare in a lot of cases, because usually a soul is stronger than an avatar, but it depends. And this goes into another example too, like we've discussed before as well. Your avatar, your body, your vessel is already very, very strong naturally. But if you build a very, very deep connection with your body, with your avatar, like we talked about before, this is why when some people, when they get into a fight, right, it's like sometimes their body will move on their own for them, right? Because this is your body not just protecting you, but also protecting itself, also protecting y'all. Because like I've talked about before, your body is its own vessel as well. Your avatar is its own being as well. It's alive. You see what I'm saying? It's alive. You see what I'm saying? And that's facts. You feel me? Right? Because you, like for an example, right? If you got a soul and you go take a nap right now, your soul is going to go somewhere else. But your avatar is still going to be working. How is that possible? Right? Because your avatar is its own being as well. And two, when people are leaving out their avatar, people who have a soul, when you're leaving outside your avatar, right? What you can do is, some people may leave like a certain, they may not fully leave out their soul. I think it might be possible. Now on this, I could be incorrect. This is more maybe like a hypothesis, maybe like maybe like me just like, you know what I'm saying? But I think it might be possible to where you can leave a certain percentage of your soul in your body while you go to another reality. But whatever percentage is higher, it like you could still like maybe transcend if that percentage, whichever percentage of your soul is higher, gets like in trouble or whatever, or gets like, you know, killed off or whatever, then it'll just be over. Basically what I'm saying is that let's say you go take a nap, right? And you have a soul. You go take a nap, your soul leaves your body, but you know you're going to return back. You want to return back to your body. So to make sure of that, to make it more safer, I'm going to leave 30% of my soul in my avatar. But the 70% of my soul, we're going to be in a whole different universe, whole different reality. But if that 70% gets killed or something in that reality, then that 30% might get killed as well, because that 70%, wouldn't it be stronger than that 30% because it is a higher percentage? And not even just that, it's the same soul, it's just being, you know, kind of like split up for a while, but they're still connected, if that makes sense. So if one of them gets hurt, both of them would still get hurt, right? Maybe so, because it's still one soul, right? It's being kind of like splitted, kind of like subtracted, not really subtracted, kind of just like divided up in a way, but they're still connected. You see what I'm saying? I know I kind of like got off task a little bit, but at the same time it still connects, right? So yeah, this is I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my most deepest videos I've ever made on this channel. I have over 3,000 videos on this channel. This is one of my most deepest video. I think I have over 3,000 videos on this channel. Yeah, this is one of my most deepest videos on this channel. I definitely recommend y'all to really just soak this video in at your own pace. I definitely recommend you to maybe come back and rewatch this video, because I know this video wasn't very long, maybe per se, even though we know time isn't real, but we just broke down a lot of information in this video. I mean, a lot of information. And before I end this video, like for an example, well, dang, how did he just talk about all that? Right, because this is not just me talking. Like the ancestors literally helped myself and us make this video today. Like I literally meditated before I even recorded this. This video came to me through meditation, through meditation. Like I'm not lying on this, y'all. Like, bro, I really be channeling. We really be channeling. The ancestors really be helping me out and be channeling as well, etc. You see what I'm saying? But look, man, I love y'all, man. There's so much more to love, always deeply. And I catch up from those on the next one, man. Peace.